Right. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. After quite a long night for us, I think we finished just before 4. And we discovered last night there's a 6-hour limit on the live stream for our software, not on YouTube. YouTube is a 12-hour limit. But we're waiting here today to see Mr. Sunak come out, make his last speech, and then go and visit the King. Now, quite a few upsets overnight. Penny lost her seat. Yep, okay. Hunt kept his. Hunt kept his seat. How does that work? That Stephen Flynn from the SNP kept his seat. What were Aberdeen thinking? Why would you even think about voting reform up there? You effectively let the SNP continue. I guess Ben's still in bed. Who else we got? Liz is out. Liz is gone. So Liz is gone. Grant Shapps is gone. Jacob Rees-Mogg has gone. Sunak kept his seat, but obviously he will he will resign as leader of the party, I would assume. But who the hell's going to lead it? Who's left? I'm catching up here. I'm catching up. I'm playing catch up. And this, as you see, is a stream at very short notice, because I thought, this is history. This is history in the making, is it not? Galloway's gone. He lost his seat as well. Corbyn kept his. Yep, and Corbyn's been there since 1985. He's an institution in that area. So the people are voting for the person there, not the party. And possibly quite rightly so. If he does a good job, why not? I got to give it to Beth. She's up as well. She's out there, and she's out there in Downing Street reporting from the ground. So I don't know what time they finished, but fair play, fair play. It's a big crowd, isn't it? The podium's there, right? Yeah, the podium came out earlier. So we'll see what's going to happen there. Good grief. I got up and I started catching up on what's happening, and nothing particularly shocking really, in that it appears Labour have 412 seats at the moment. There's not a lot left to go. Turnout of 60%, that's something like 15% down on last time. I think that's an indictment itself. That's an indictment on the state of democracy in the UK. And actually, if you think about it, follows pretty much how everyone's thinking about politics across Europe, whether you're part of the EU or not. Everybody seems to be a bit disenchanted with it and wanting some kind of change. I'm not sure that Starmer's the change that we want, though. But we will see what happens with him. He has a massive majority, so I think he's got to be careful how he wields that as well, because he doesn't have. I think something like 35% of the electoral population have voted Labour in effect. So really, I always say this: democracy ends up with people who are in the minority running the show. Because 35% isn't a majority in anyone's book. 35% of a third of the population voted for you, the rest didn't. So how does that give you a mandate to rule them? And that's what's wrong with our system. And possibly some kind of proportional representation can fix that. I'm not a great fan of the current application that we have in Scotland. But I think a direct democracy is obviously the way to go in this world of technology and instant communication. I can't understand why nobody or very few people use a direct democracy. It seems sensible. He's hanging on, isn't he? Is he greeting? Is he sitting in there greeting and drying his eyes? Is he going, I'm not? No, he knew he was losing. In fact, did he throw it? Did he throw it? Good morning, Ben. Do you want to join me, or are no, you'll be too rough, mate. Ben won't come on when he's just up because he looks like shit, and he's got to put on that persona of being a lovely, lovely, adorable hunk of a man. Yes, Reform and Tories collectively have more votes than. Yeah. Well, They will have, but again, I don't think reform's done as well as they thought they were going to do. I mean, 4 million votes when they were talking about six. But having said that, look for instance at Lib Dems. Less votes than Reform, but 71 MPs. So they've used the noggin. They've targeted seats. They've sniped, and they have picked up seats and where obviously Reform haven't been able to. And fair play to Reform. They've not had the time to. Well, they haven't had the time with Farage to target the situation as adequately as they could. But whose fault is that ultimately? And why didn't the Tories even consider some kind of reform conservative deal? I mean, if you think about it, if the Tory had stood down where Reform were standing and were looking likely to win, Reform would have won that seat. And then if Reform had stood down where the Tories were standing, but no, we've got two parties. Hello. So we've got two parties, that effectively are leaning towards the same right hand side, fighting against each other, and you've just left the goal wide open, and Starmer slid in there like a slippery snake. I mean, it's like watching a stick of mince when you see Starmer, and no doubt we'll see him later on. Yeah, yeah, but coming second is a loss, Ben, isn't it? Coming second ain't no cigar. You don't get a cigar for coming second, do you? Because I'm first past the post, it's win or nothing. And that's exactly, again, I go back to Lib Dems. They've worked very well in a system within which we are working, So it doesn't matter. I mean, Reform can argue for, proportional representation as much as you like. But you think about it, if you're Keith Starmer, you're going to go, proportional representation, why would I want that? Oh, somebody's come to the desk. She's put a jotter out. She's put the jotter out. Oh, no, she's retreating. There she goes. She's off. What kind of dress is that for a government function? Well, an ex-government functionary. But, a kind of pantsuit and trainers? Trainers? Really? Where have standards gone in this country? Where have standards gone? We've got to ask that question, and I think the answer is they've gone down the drain, or they haven't. They're circling the drain because the drain's blocked because nobody bloody cleans the drains, and that's why we have all the floods we do. But I'm going off on a tangent, am I not? I think I've had too much coffee last night. 2 coffees and. But there we go. Slim, sponsored by Adidas. Good one, Slim. and my God, I've just advertised for them. So you owe us money, Adidas. Who's that? Who was that? Oh, no, it wasn't anyone, was it? Because obviously the doors got to open unless Starmer sneaks out the back way and flies off. But yeah, I think Starmer's got a bit of work to do as far as the Tory party's concerned here, because it's in a mess. I mean, it's Truss, Mordaunt, Rees-Mogg, Sharps, they've all lost their seats. Who's going to lead this party? Who's left? Hunt? Hunt as the leader of the opposition, imagine that. It could actually, it probably could have been something like Primark, the way things are going. that supplied the traders. Now here we are waiting for number. And did they ever switch? Remember when was it? Who was it? Was it Blair when he moved in, or was it Cameron? Remember they switched number 10 to number 11 because number 11 was bigger, and somebody had a bigger family. I think that might have been Blair. So I think they switched number 10 to 11. Did they ever switch it back? Just wondered. Did they ever switch it back? I don't know. I wonder what it's like in there. Has anyone been in number 10? I know you've seen things like, in the thick of it and all that, and it just looks like a house inside, basically, But what does it look like inside? And how big is it? Right, They won't give up easy. The big two are in cahoots. Well, yeah. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's get some audio up. Here we go, people.
Good morning.
Morning.
I will shortly be seeing His Majesty the
You are
King
short.
to offer my resignation as Prime Minister.
Good. That's
To
a
the
sensible
country,
choice.
I would like to say first and foremost, I am sorry. I've given this job my all.
Too little, too late,
But
mate.
you have sent a clear signal
No, you
that the
didn't.
government of the United Kingdom must change, and yours is the only judgment that matters.
Is that a billionaire standing in the
I have heard
background?
Your anger, your disappointment, and I take responsibility for this loss.
Well, who else would
To
take
all the
it?
Conservative candidates and campaigners who worked tirelessly but without
I'm
success,
sorry.
I'm sorry
Oh, I'm
that
sorry.
we could not deliver what your efforts deserve.
You had no chance of delivering your
It pains
intention.
me to think how many good colleagues who contributed so much to their communities and our country will now no longer sit in the House of Commons.
Yeah, they've lost their jobs, but
I
you're
thank
all right.
for their hard work and their service.
There's a billionaire standing behind you,
Following
isn't
this
there?
result, I will step down as party leader.
Oh, he
not
is
immediately,
resigning. Oh,
but once the formal arrangements for selecting my successor are in place. It is important that after 14 years in government, the Conservative Party rebuilds, but also
No
that
shit.
it takes up its crucial role in opposition professionally and effectively. When I first stood here as your Prime Minister,
I don't know how you're going to
I told you the
effectively
most
be
important
opposition.
task I had was to return stability to our economy.
If he had Sky
Inflation is
TV.
back to target, mortgage rates are falling, and growth.
Excuse me,
We have
while
enhanced our standing in the world, rebuilding relations with allies, leading global efforts to support Ukraine, and becoming the home of new generation of transformative technologies. And our United Kingdom is stronger too, with the Windsor Framework, devolution restored in Northern Ireland, and our union strengthened. I'm proud of those achievements. I believe this country is safer, stronger, and more secure than it was 20 months ago. And it is more prosperous, fairer, and resilient.
she's
than
planning
it
the
was in
divorce.
2010.
That's what she's doing in the background.
Whilst he has been my political opponent, Sir Keir Starmer will shortly become our Prime
Like,
Minister.
she's got a brolly
In
in
his
case
job,
it rains. He's
his
not
successors
getting wet this
will be
time.
all our successors, and I wish him and his family well.
Yeah, sure you
Whatever
do.
our disagreements in this campaign, he is a decent, public-spirited man who I respect.
He's a
He
communist.
and his family deserve the very best of our understanding. They
As
make
Ben
the
would
huge
say,
transition to
he's
their
a
new lives
Trotskyist
behind this
communist.
door, and as he grapples with this most demanding of jobs in an increasingly unstable world.
Well, remember,
I'd like to
Sunak's
thank
one
my
of the
colleagues, my
fourth
cabinet,
shortest
the
serving
civil
prime
service,
ministers
especially
ever.
here in Downing Street, the team at Chequers, my staff, CCHQ, but most of all, I'd like to express my gratitude to my wife Akshata and our beautiful daughters. I can never thank them enough for the sacrifices they have made.
Oh, a smile
that I
from
might
the
serve our
mannequin behind them. Is
One
that
of the
some
most
kind of
remarkable
urban
things
camouflage?
about Britain
Or did
is
he
just
try and
how
run her over?
unremarkable it is.
That's a
that
tire
two
mark.
generations after my grandparents came here with little, I
Oh
could become
God,
Prime
here we
Minister,
go.
and that I could watch
My
my two
mother
young
was a
daughters
pharmacist, my
light Diwali
father was a
candles on the steps
GP.
in Downing Street. We must hold true to that idea of
Both,
who we
Julie,
are.
both.
That vision of kindness, decency, and tolerance that has always been the British way. This is a difficult day.
It's maybe
at
time
the
we
end
threw
of a
tolerance out
number
the
of
window.
difficult days.
Because
But I leave this job honoured to have been your Prime Minister.
no, you got
This
there
is the best country
in
in
a
the world.
snaky,
And it is
snaky,
thanks entirely
devious,
to you,
underhand way.
the
You
British
horrible
people.
man.
The true source of all our achievements, our strengths, and our greatness. Thank you.
Goodbye. And they're off. They are off. We're going to see the king. We're going to see the king. We're off to see the king. She looks happy now. Diddly dee, diddly dee. You're getting divorced. Oh, last time in the official car. There we go. What happens? Oh no, he gets to go back to his hovel, in the official car, and then they'll probably lose it. It's an Audi. What's going on, Britain? What's going on? Why are we driving foreign muck? We should be. Well, no, hold on. We don't build any cars anymore, do we? No. Because we can't make
I've
anything
heard
anymore,
your
can we?
anger. I take responsibility for this loss.
Is he best still
A
there,
deathly
Ben?
quiet Downing Street as Rishi
Best still
Sunak
there.
makes his final speech as Prime Minister. He'll know, of course, that he's just entered history as a man who led Britain's most successful political party to its worst ever loss of seats. Bit of booing as he leaves. Beth Rigby was there, Beth.
Beth Rigby.
Yes, he said a difficult day at the end of
Difficult.
a number of difficult days. A hint there about the struggles he has had in this campaign. A moving moment when he thanked his wife, Ekshata, and their beautiful daughters, and she flinched a little, looked quite emotional. But that a speech from the Prime Minister, or former Prime Minister, as he goes to the palace to resign, full of emotion and decency, actually.
Wasn't a great speech, was it?
Praising Starmer as a decent, public-spirited man who he respects, apologising
Yeah.
to the
We know what he
country.
said. We were
I am
here.
sorry,
Yeah, you don't
and
need-
apologise.
Right, okay, Beth. There's no point in just telling us exactly what he said because we were here and listened to it. And is she wearing the same clothes as she was wearing last night? So she has been here all the time. Has she? Good grief. Do you not even go for a nap? Do you not go for a nap, Beth? You're right. You've got eyes like Doug's boys there, lass. You really could do with a nap. Anyway, so Sunak's off to see the King. No doubt we'll see him going into. We might see him going into Buckhouse. That would be quite interesting. Well, maybe not, but you know. What do you think? What do you think then, people, of Liz losing her seat and Penny losing her seat? That's Penny was on a knife edge. I didn't think Liz wasn't. Yeah, she hasn't brushed the wig at all, has she, Ben? She really could have. She could have put a bit of effort in, you know. Because she started off the evening so well. I mean, she hasn't even refreshed her lipstick. It's fading as well now. But yeah. Oh, hello, Shirley. Morning. What have you missed? Kept the radio off on purpose. Well, Liz Truss has lost her seat. Grant Shapps has lost his seat. Jacob Rees-Mogg has lost his seat. Penny Mordaunt has lost her seat. Rishi Sunak and Jeremy Hunt have kept theirs. Hunt kept his seat. Stephen Flynn of the SNP kept his seat in Aberdeen because Reform took 3,000 votes off the Tories, which would have let the Tories win. But no, we've done that. Oh, there's the King. Stand by your beds, people. Hold on, what were they saying?
The King.
Yes, it's the
travelling
King.
back to Buckingham Palace
Well,
earlier, not long ago.
they don't live in Buckingham Palace anymore, do they? They occupy some smaller
Let's bring in now,
places.
shall we, our royal commentator, Alistair Bruce,
Yeah,
who is
royal
with us.
commentator.
It's a day of huge history today, isn't it? We have the political moments, and then, of course, we have the constitutional.
Oh, and
moments
Galloway
as
lost
well.
his seat.
It's so
Shirley.
brutal how fast this
Corbyn
happens.
kept his.
Over the next hour, we're going to witness the constitutional handover after the nation has made its decision, and the King, as head of state, will give effect to the nation's choice by taking executive government from one prime minister and handing it to the
Do
other.
these horses march
The
up and
King
down,
returned from
the
Windsor
mall and things like that
earlier
a lot?
today to London.
Does it happen
and
all the
he will
way,
shortly
all the
be
time?
at Buckingham Palace in order to
Yeah, I don't like
receive
Galloway either.
Rishi Sunak
That
after
police
this
bike was going at some rate, wasn't
resignation.
it?
As we see.
There's another one. Whoosh. Right. Pardon me. Oh, is that how you feeling, Ben? Are you still pumped up in Red Bull? Are you? Are you still... Oh, look at that taxi being a taxi-faced rat bag. So here's Sunak in his Aldi. You know what I think about Audis?
The King will undoubtedly have some reassuring words and much gratitude to give someone who has served as.
Oh, come on, let's fit. He
Prime
was
Minister
there for
the
what?
majority
How
of
long was he
his
there for?
reign so far.
Was it even 12
And
months?
then will formally ask the advice of his demitting Prime Minister, who, as sovereign, he
probably
should
quite right,
call
Shirley,
to
probably
take
quite
his place.
right.
Of course, we all know what that advice will be, but
Well,
it is
Keith's
a
got to go and see the
formality.
King first, doesn't he, before he
And
can
then
move into 10. And then
The King will invite
got to pick his wallpaper.
the wife of the Prime Minister to come in, who, of course, received such a wonderful statement of thanks from the
Hold
Prime
on.
Minister
Why
earlier
is she
on.
allowed to
But
go and see the king? She's a
coming
non-dom, isn't she?
into the palace now is the king returning to be in place in order to be ready for the Prime Minister when he arrives.
We expect the meeting to be around 20 minutes. Is that usually the amount of time that it takes?
What's the new
Well, of course,
charity?
and it's entirely up to the king, who is a very, very warm-hearted, chatty man, and he will want everyone
Really?
to be made comfortable. So, arriving here, the footman will come forward to open the doors, and the king's equerry
Why
Commander
do
Will
why
Thornton
do
will receive
royal
on behalf of the
commentators just state the obvious?
King, the Prime Minister.
Just say exactly what's happening. Rishi's going, you forgot to bring the bloody step. Oh, you don't get a step anymore, Rishi. You're not important enough. Not important enough for a step now, mate. And your wife's even shorter than you. Picked well there. Billionaire, a short billionaire. Oh, there's a Waitrose delivery getting ready to go round the back.
It's an
Get some
important
food in
relationship,
for
isn't it,
snacks.
between the Prime Minister and the King. I would imagine it is one...
I don't think it is. Does it really
just
make that
knowing
much
kind of
difference?
The privacy that you have and the intimacy that you have as well.
I know we have.
You can imagine it being something that
Do you
Prime
really
Ministers
want me
value,
to put you on
particularly, of course, in
screen
moments like this,
looking
huge
like
moments of
that?
history.
Well, the king knows that he will be head of state.
Look at this,
until
state of
such
this,
time.
people. And
And
you know,
this is
this isn't what you normally
and to
get on
make sure
the
that
show, the
nation
polished Ben.
takes a steady
But what
journey
have
through
we? How
time
are you, Mr.
is
Ben?
highlighted by a moment.
Yeah, I'm okay. I thought I'd show you I'd do my best impression of Beth Rigby for a minute.
Beth Rigby, go on then.
No, as in,
Well,
look
no,
at me.
you are Beth Rigby. Look at that mop. Oh my God. That's the
Yeah.
advantage of very short hair. I just give it a quick whoosh, whoosh, with water and give it a quick dry, and that's it. Boom, done.
Yeah, this is everything. I don't mean to be smug, but every
Well, you know, mate, we've been banging on about this since this clown was elected. Really, you know. To be fair, both of us have seen this coming, and he's pathetic. And the
but
whole thing's
everything
been
I
pathetic.
predicted has come to pass.
Yeah. Well, when did he get elected? How long ago was it? Because it only seems like yesterday.
I mean, elected is an interesting word.
Good point. He was elected to Parliament. When did he manage to shove the knife into Liz? Was that only a year ago?
It's coming on 2 years ago.
Was that good God, where does the time go? Where does the time go? How long have we been working together now? Is that 3 years?
A bit more than that, I'd say.
My goodness. More than 3 years? That's shocking.
Apparently, Shalini and Beats and Tapes are making a new charity called the Fake Ben Charity. Using me like the Sir Captain Tom charity.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, cool. That's a good idea. That's not going to work.
No, it won't work at all. Yeah.
So how are you feeling?
Shit.
Did you get any sleep?
A little bit.
I just went straight to bed and slept fairly well until about I woke up at 8:30 and thought I'm gonna have to get up.
I woke up just about an hour ago and thought, yeah, best get up now.
Yeah, so well after this nonsense is finished, I'll start building all in for tonight then.
No, you won't.
Yeah, well. The
For yourself.
people demand it. Are you not coming?
I don't know.
I'll build it. You know, we'll see. We might hang it off till Saturday, but yeah, we'll see.
Can't do it Saturday.
Oh, you going out? You going out to celebrate the death of your rabbit?
That's not funny.
Too soon. It's
not funny.
They haven't even eaten the little bugger yet. Anyway, sorry, that's not funny either, is it? I'm a horrible person. I really am. Right. Ben's not impressed. I'm sorry, Ben. I'm sorry, mate. I'll retract those statements. Or I'll do a Sunak. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I've let you down. Is that better? Oh, Beats and Tapes is going record shopping. I think from that he means he's going looking for records rather than buying an incredible amount of stuff in order to break records. I'm smart.
Nobody's got the money to buy an incredible amount of stuff to break records, except, billionaire up there.
Yeah, billionaires. Yeah, like Sunak and his wife. Up where? Oh,
I mean,
the
it's much
king.
easier to effect a coup when you're a billionaire, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is.
I wonder how many people at the Bank of England got paid off to help crash the rates whilst Liz Truss was in power.
Oh, I said it. I said it from the word go that what's his name? Sunak had conspired with his chums in the city to orchestrate that.
Oh, some money
crunch.
changed hands. Yeah,
Yeah.
some money changed hands, and it's the only reason that Rishi Sunak's prime minister right now. Because once again, people, you have to remember, love her or hate her, for her faults, whatever, the party chose Liz Truss.
Yeah, they did.
During that leadership contest, they chose Liz Truss, and they did over Rishi Sunak because he ran as well, remember? And the party said, no, thank you, Rishi. We don't want you. We want Liz Truss. And then, the night before she announces her budget, all of a sudden rates start crashing at the Bank of England.
Yeah. And the thing
Interesting
was, it was a Tory budget. Anyone with half a brain knew that was. In fact, the city shouldn't have reacted to that budget at all because that's exactly what you should have expected from a Tory government.
Well,
that budget.
In fact, I still don't think it went far enough because I am still of the opinion that we should have slashed VAT. They should have slashed VAT.
Yeah, they should have. But regardless of that, the city's hardly budged. I imagine this election because this is the city expected this and they got what they expected. So nothing's changed. Nothing's changed in effect.
I imagine Keith's taking a nice look at VAT right now, going, "Oh, that looks like something we could raise."
Oh, they will raise taxes one way or the other. One way or the other. They'll get you one way or the other.
They'll get you one way or the other.
And as a motorist, you're going to get shagged.
The only saving grace, the only thing that could keep him in check is, despite the fact his majority in seats is huge, his mandate is ridiculously slim.
Well, to be fair, most people that end up in government have way less than 50% of the vote. His is 35%. That's a third of the voting electorate basically have given them a mandate to rule, and that's what's wrong with democracy. And I said that earlier. Whether it be PR or, in my case, I would favour direct democracy much more than PR. I don't think we need this. We don't need these trappings of 650 people getting massive expenses, going up and down the country to London and buying second homes and things, because we're funding that to no avail, and we certainly don't need these devolved parliaments in Scotland and Wales. If we're acting as one country, let's fucking start acting as one country and stop splitting ourselves up. That's my rant. Over.
Well, I would agree with you, but there are plenty of nationalists that wouldn't.
Yeah, I know.
And once again, this just shows that there is still a deep chasm within our societies. There are people that believe wildly different things.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is why I spent, I'd say 4 of last night, 6 hours bleating on about proportional representation as well, because as I predicted, the Tories and Reform UK cumulatively have more votes than the Labour Party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They have more votes than the Labour Party, which means that the right of politics has more votes, maybe not more votes than the left of politics, because obviously we're not taking into account the Liberal Democrats there.
Well, the Liberals have done tremendous here, haven't they? They've suddenly come into third position and relegated. In fact, they've relegated the SNP to fourth. At one point, it was looking like they may have been as low as fifth, but the SNP are going to be fourth, and that's good because I don't I don't like the SNP, and they've obviously been hammered in Scotland because that's the only place they stand. And I think that says a lot about how people feel about the SNP, regardless of how they feel about independence. And
But
this
once
is a
again,
problem with a single issue party, isn't it?
I agree with you, but I also think there's the 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 Liberal Democrats and Reform UK really do show the problem that first past the post system creates. I think even more so than Labour versus the Tories here, because
Mm-hmm.
the Liberal Democrats on 500,000 votes, more than 500,000 votes, less than
Well,
Reform UK,
I
are
tell you
sitting
what.
on nearly 20 times the
Yeah,
MPs.
well, I tell you what. I'll give you some stats here, mate. Right. So the Liberal Democrats got one MP for every 49,000 votes that they won. Okay.
Yep,
Reform UK got one MP for every million votes they won.
around abouts. Yep, yep.
That's the stat. So to me, what that indicates is the Liberal Democrats played a blinder within the system that we have.
They did. They massively targeted certain seats.
Yeah, they did.
Ed Davey turned up and acted clown in
Mm-hmm.
all of these seats,
And
and you know
yeah,
and I kept saying it last night on the show, and I'll repeat it again. Ed Davey played a blinder of a campaign, far more so than Mr. Ed.
yeah, he
Um,
did.
he played an absolute blinder of a campaign by just going out and being a human being and
Yeah.
having fun and getting in the water and doing aqua aerobics with people or going on the roller coaster or getting on the bungee jump.
Mm-hmm.
And do
Yeah.
you know what? That's how Boris Johnson's star rose.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly what he did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's obviously thought, people liked the way Johnson kind of mocked himself, much like we do. And
I, but I do believe that's the playbook that Ed Davies using.
yeah, I think
He's
you're right.
he's,
He's
he's
copied it.
using the Boris Johnson playbook. He's gone. What if I go out there and I just be a normal person, but play a bit of the clown, play a bit of the fool. People will fall in love with what I'm doing, and look what's happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
They've
Well,
they've, they've
so what's the
played a
next?
blinder.
What's the next big thing to happen? Sunak
Uh,
comes out of there and disappears.
Keith turns up, gets the job from the king,
Yeah,
and then Keith will obviously then drive from the palace to number 10. The podium will be his, and he'll give his statement.
yeah. That'll be a wee while yet. I
It,
wonder
it,
who, what was the results? Is there anyone else of major note that's lost or gained a seat?
well, Penny Morden's lost her seat. Rees
Yeah,
Mogg's lost his seat.
yeah. Well, they're all on the thumbnail behind you, mate. Hunt kept his. Hunt kept his seat. Do you think
I,
he's the next leader of the Tory
I
party?
hope. Well, that would be political suicide because he's more unlikable than Rishi Sunak.
Yes, he is.
He's more unlikable than Rishi Sunak. Having Jeremy Hunt, but then in the same breath, who is there that's got name recognition within the party left? Who's left?
I don't know. Is he actually trying to get a list of who's still there? It seems to be very difficult, right? Let's have a look. The Independent, what are they saying?
I believe this is the most amount of cabinet ministers losing their seats ever in history.
Oh, what did what's his name? Oh God, who's the Home Secretary?
It's not David Cameron.
Not
That's
so.
fine.
Not so. Did
Oh yeah,
lose
cleverly.
it? Did Cleverly keep his seat?
I don't have my laptop open, so I can't check.
Let me check. There's no point in searching for not so. I don't think the MSM know him as that. Ow. I've bit my lip. You know how you bite your lip inadvertently and then you keep biting the same bit for some obscure reason? That's happened. I haven't done that for years, but I've just done it. I did it last night. The Right Honourable James Cleverly. Right.
But let's face it.
You think this would be, whether he lost or held his seat would be like top result, but no. Right, here we go. Braintree. Braintree. He won it. He won his seat.
Okay, well, so there's one that's possible. However, once again, extremely
so-
unlikable.
Yeah, very unlikable. Very unlikable. Who have we got left in the Tory party?
I think the Tory party's screwed.
Yeah.
This is their death knell.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, people, the mainstream media especially now will write Reform UK off. They'll say they only got 4 MPs, right? They'll write them off because despite the fact they got millions of votes.
Well, I think that would be a dangerous thing to do from the point of view that they did get millions of votes.
Yes, but the new Ofcom regulations stipulate that they'll only give the biggest parties in Parliament the airtime.
Yeah, well, that's true.
And so the mainstream media are going to write Reform UK off.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, you're right.
They'll call them the protest vote. They'll hold up the Conservatives and Labour to the detriment of the Conservatives and Labour because I'm not even sure this government will last. Despite the fact they got a supermajority and they could comfortably sit for the full 5 years, they'll screw it up. They'll screw it up.
Yeah, they will. They will. They'll do it one of two ways. They'll either replace Starmer with Raider,
which could happen within the first 12 months, I think,
or they will make some stupid policies that just go too far.
Oh my God! If Rayner ends up Prime Minister, you do realise, people, I will be the first to be making ginger growler for PM merch.
I think we should design a new cupcake called the Ginger Growler.
There you go. Look, she did this to herself. She's got nobody to. She's same as Toolmaker Bingo. Starmer did that to himself,
yeah,
right?
He did.
There are people like me that exist. It's as simple as that. And when you do things that I can seize upon, I will. And Angela Rayner will forever be known as Ginger Growler.
Oh, definitely. So I'm going to read out something that the SNP tweeted last night. Thank you to everyone who voted SNP. Not very many. To all our candidates and to all our dedicated activists. Together, we'll always keep working for a better future made in Scotland for Scotland. Single issue party. Can't see the writing on the wall. 9 seats. 9. From what was it? 48? Yeah, you're doing well, SNP.
I mean, in comparison, at least Reform got 4 times the seats that they had because Lee Anderson was already in situ, but that's because he defected from the Tories, right? Lee Anderson was a Conservative MP. He moved to the Reform UK, and therefore he was Reform UK's first MP. He wasn't elected, but now he is elected. So he went back to his constituency and he got elected with a mandate for Reform UK. So
I don't know if Adam realises we're on a live stream. He's asking if we're tired.
But we are at the point now where the lunatics have taken over the asylum.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Let's see what this bird's saying.
That's in Glasgow.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
Just had a huge Labour event here. About 30 or so MPs, new MPs, have just been elected overnight. They've come straight from their counts, and they were here in Glasgow with an event with their Scottish Labour leader, Anna Sawa, who has fought, it has to be said, quite a vigorous and, I suppose, energetic campaign would be the word. The sun is out in Glasgow. It hasn't been for the large majority of this campaign, it has to be said.
Sun is indeed
there
out.
is a huge amount of excitement in the Labour camp here in Scotland, and understandably so. Let's cast our minds back, right? 2019, Labour had 1 MP that was elected here in Scotland. They've gone from that all the way to more than 30, about 37 current Labour MPs have been elected overnight. This sweep of red, that ultimately they have seen, though, the collapse of the SNP. We've seen this absolute demolition of the party. If there was an SNP yellow wall,
Somebody
as it was,
making
that has
change
been
in the
completely
background.
decimated overnight. The SNP currently have
It
about
does
7
sound like it,
seats.
doesn't it?
That's down from
I,
their 40.
I guarantee somebody's emptying the freaking bins or something.
Oh my word.
So yeah, I mean the massive sweep of red in Scotland, but that was again expected because Scotland only ever votes one of two ways. Unless you live in the Borders or Aberdeen or some godforsaken shithole in the Highlands somewhere, Tories never have a look in. They used to have a look in Ayr, but boundary changes did away with that. So Scotland only ever votes Labour or SNP. That's it.
Yeah. And unfortunately, once again, that will be the way it continues to be because people vote with their tribe.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Well, and as you said, multiple times last night, this isn't a vote for Labour. This is a vote against the incumbents.
This is absolutely a vote against the incumbents, be it the SNP up there in Scotland or be it the Conservatives here in England.
Yeah.
It is, and I do wonder if Keir Starmer realises this.
Well, I think he'll be being told it. I think he will realise it because I know he's a big wet blanket, but I don't think he's totally stupid. You know, he'll be basking in the moment just now, but I think in the cold reality of what he's now got to take on, he's going to have to tread pretty carefully with such a low public mandate. You know,
I agree with you, but I fear that he's a communist.
he is a communist, but even communists got to take it easy.
He's a communist who's done a very good job to dress himself up as a centrist.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think we're going to see some sweeping changes that are going to heavily affect everybody's pockets in a very negative way. Because despite the fact, all that matters in government policy terms is can you get it through the Commons? And he can get it through the Commons.
Yeah, and yeah, you're right there. Oh God, I've forgotten what I was going to say.
That's the Alzheimer's kicking in.
Yeah, it's the dementia is strong in this one. Yeah, it's just one of these things. I mean, it's been a long night. You've got to give me that. So right, is it worth hanging on anymore, or shall we pop off, or what? What do you think?
I'm not quite sure what time Keith will give his speech. So
it'll be quite a wee while, I would imagine. It'll be quite a wee while.
He's gonna, but I can already tell you what Keith's gonna say. You voted for change. You voted to get rid of the Tories.
Yeah.
And change is coming. We are going to be a Labour Party that cares and works for the country and not for the party.
That's what I was going to say. That guy Mick Lynch that was on Sky last night.
He's an arsehole.
He is an arsehole, but he's an old school arsehole. That's like back to the times of Mick McGahey and the miners' strike. He's of that ilk. And he's that kind of divisive person. And if that kind of person gets a voice under this Labour government, then we are going to end up back in the 70s with power cuts and, making toast by the gas fire. Well, you won't these days because you don't have gas fires anymore, do you?
You won't be allowed one.
Yeah, and if you do have a gas fire, you probably need electricity to run it these days because they're all fan powered and whatever.
Right. Well, I'm going now. Whether you want to hold on, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd probably. Well, we've actually done all right on this stream.
But I'm going to say my goodbyes to people now and jump out.
Yep. Bye bye. Yeah, I think I might jump out as well. Bye, Ben. I might jump out as well because I think it's going to be a little while before anything else happens. If I pick up on it, I may well jump back on. But yeah, there we go. Right, okay. Bye bye, people.